Hey guys, I hope you're having a wonderful day. So it's actually the evening right now. I know this video goes out in the morning, but I have a bunch of basil that I need to use. And I figured for today's video, it's gonna be a recipe using the basil that I have growing in my quote unquote vegetable area. I have a pepper plant, a raspberry, and the basil. So that's all I have so far. But my basil plant needs to be pruned, and I thought I'm gonna make some homemade pizza. We'll put fresh basil on top of that. And then I also found a chocolate chip cookie recipe that has basil in it. So not sure how that'll be. And then I thought about making a basil cocktail, but I think I'm just gonna stick to some red wine. Red wine with pizza is delicious. So I'm just gonna set the camera up and get to cooking. Let you know how everything is at the end. I completely forgot to press record when I did this, but the first thing that I did was I poured the 1 cup of warm water into the bowl. I also added 1 tablespoon of the active dry yeast and 1 tablespoon of granulated sugar. Also, definitely use, if you have a KitchenAid mixer with the dough hook attachment. This is what it looks like. That'll make your life a whole lot easier. So, once I combined the warm water, yeast, and the sugar in the mixing bowl, we stir it and we're gonna let it sit for 5 minutes, and it's gonna become kind of frothy and a little bit bubbly. You can kind of already see that it's starting. And then we're going to put in the olive oil after that. So we'll wait about 5 minutes. Okay, so you can see that it definitely has frothed up quite a bit. And so now I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon of olive oil, and I pretty much just eyeball this. There we go. Might have been less, might have been more. And then while that 5 minutes was waiting, I went ahead and put all of the flour into a separate bowl. And we're gonna just gently stir in the olive oil. And then we're gonna add the 2 cups of flour and the salt, about 1 teaspoon of salt. I'm just gonna add a little bit here. I'm going to add some salt. I'm gonna attach the dough hook and turn it on. And then as it's mixing, I'll slowly add in more flour if it looks like it needs it. So you notice if you touch it, it kind of like springs back a little bit at you, but it's not sticking to my finger. So I'm going to take this off of the dough hook, and then I'm gonna go transfer it over to a floured surface, and we will actually, no, what is the first thing? Okay, so you could go straight into rolling this out right now, or you could cover it with a damp towel and let it rise for 10 minutes all the way up to an hour. I'm gonna do that because I still have a little bit of time before dinner. So I'm just gonna cover this with a towel, and we'll be back in about an hour. In the meantime, while I'm waiting for the dough to rise, I'm gonna start these best ever chocolate chip cookies, and it does have 4 tablespoons of fresh basil leaves. It looks like we're gonna be adding the basil to a small saucepan with butter. Then you strain all of that, and then, so you're not actually putting the herbs in the cookies, but you definitely get the flavor. So I'm gonna get started on those right now. If you wanted to take a screenshot, this is what it is. I'll also link both of these recipes down below. Just gonna give them a rough chop. So I need 1 stick plus 2 tablespoons of butter. It does call for unsalted butter. I always get unsalted butter, so I just add my own salt to things. on the stove. The vanilla extract that I'm using is this right here. I bought this at one of our local grocery stores and it was super expensive. I thought it was like $6.99 and when it rang up it was $24.99. So I was at the self-checkout and just kind of panicked, but it's been pretty good. I mean, honestly, I kind of feel like vanilla extract, maybe I haven't experienced bad vanilla extract, but this one's pretty good. I'm gonna add the vanilla. And I never measure vanilla. This calls for a tablespoon. And I don't even think I have a tablespoon in here, so I need to buy more. Alright, and then I'm gonna turn it off the heat. And we're gonna let this cool for 10 minutes. Now it says in a stand mixer or a large bowl, combine the next 6 ingredients. So the next 6 ingredients would be the flour, baking powder, baking soda, the 2 sugars, regular and brown, and the salt. So I'm gonna do that next. Need 1 3/4 cup of flour or 230 grams. I need 3/4 a tablespoon of baking powder and baking soda. This is baking soda. Baking powder. Okay. Then I need 1/2 cup of both of the sugars. So this is the white sugar first. Next, I used a whisk to mix it all together. And then after that, I used a strainer and I poured the butter and basil mixture in the strainer and just to use a wooden spoon to kind of flatten out the basil, get as much out as I can. And then I went back in with that same spoon and just mixed it all together. Now it does appear very, very dry. I was getting a little confused. I did end up using my hands, went back and forth between my hands and the wooden spatula or the wooden spoon. And you also add 1 egg during this part too.
Basically hooked up power. Something's going wire. Switch and stick up to it.
Well, my day was fine until the cat got sick. Alright, I'm ready to roll it out and get the pizza started.
This morning, the difference is the river is still slowly rising. It's
Try one. Outside is crunchy, inside is soft. Totally smells like basil.